In a previous video, I don't remember which one, someone said don't go to Oviedo Mall. Well, two things. One, I already went in 2022, which we're seeing right now, so I guess strike one against me. And two, I can't really see why they said don't go. But since I'm already here, let's go for a walk. Looks pretty cool too, in my humble opinion. Oviedo Mall took quite a bit of time to get off the ground, looking back, with first signs of retail development coming in 1994 in the form of Target, whom would open up on the southern end of the property. Legal red tape would wind up bogging down the project between multiple lawsuits, complaints about lack of coordination, sophistication, and the plan itself being described as ill-conceived. However, the lawsuits were dismissed in 1996, and construction on the Oviedo Mall would begin in April that year, along with an access road over the nearby tollway which would provide ease of access for Oviedo proper. Originally under the not at all cumbersome name, the Marketplace at Oviedo Crossing, the Oviedo Mall would open in March 4th, 1998 with Dillard's and a shiny new Gayfers as original anchors, while a 22-screen Regal Cinemas would open above the food court. The mall also took a very different direction for an overall aesthetic, with bare concrete floors, high ceilings, clerestory windows for skylights, and a faux river flowing through the food court. Personally, I think it looks a little bit ahead of its time. With 80% occupancy on opening day, it at least had a fairly good start, and would even see Sears come to the mall in 2000. But occupancy would become a recurring problem throughout the mall's life, and it would only worsen as we get closer to this footage. We'll get there. Gayfers would only last 7 months before being bought out by Dillard's, and the pad would be sold off to Parisian. And Parisian would close in 2000, citing poor sales as their reason. It wasn't a total loss, at least not yet, as Burdines would come in that same year, only to progressively turn into Macy's starting in 2003, before the Burdines nameplate was retired altogether in 2005. Don't tell Nintendo about that mural. They might demolish this mall. This food court could use a little more color, but other than that, I think it's pretty damn cool. I mean, how often do you see a faux river? Oviedo Mall was always reported to be struggling one way or another, and the satellite imagery reflects this. While the mall got up and running, much of the grounds around the mall was empty, with open fields or forests in the place of outparcels and shopping centers. Some of the more prominent inline stores feature exterior entrances, discouraging foot traffic inside the mall itself reportedly. And as the late 2000s drew to a close, some tenants, like Bed Bath & Beyond, would relocate out of the mall as the footprint was just too large according to them. Meanwhile, the mall's rivals, Waterford Lakes, would be booming, practically eating Oviedo Mall's lunch money, and on top of this, location would be the leading factor in the mall's failure to cement itself. Having been one of the last malls built by the Rouse Company, Oviedo Mall would see itself get bought out by General Growth Properties in 2004, and GGP would sell the mall in 2010 to CW Capital. CW Capital would properly rename it to the Oviedo Mall, and they would at least draw in alternative tenants like a beauty school. And this would begin the mall's transition into a mixed-use property. However, in 2013, 3D Investments would buy the mall off CW Capital, and under their watch, the vacated Bed Bath & Beyond would be subletted to make way for a preschool and a fitness center called Zoo Health Club. I know people have a very negative outlook on mixed-use malls, but I admire a mall that refuses to quit. Unfortunately, the retail side was still deteriorating at the mall, as Macy's closed their doors in 2017 and Sears would leave in December 2019. But you already saw that one coming. I mean, how couldn't you? Then in 2018, the mall would be sold yet again, but at a higher price this time around, and the sentiment about its location would change for the better. As time went on, the dream of mixed use would still remain alive. In January 2020, the City Council would vote to redevelop select parts of the Oviedo Mall to make way for a retirement community for those 55 and up, as well as a hotel. While 2020 itself presumably stalled these plans, the age restrictions would end up getting slashed in 2022, as they had remained in place until then. While some tenants would continue to trickle away, 2022 would see a familiar bookstore name return to the world. You might have seen it already. B. Dalton. Although the mall has seen better days, the future remains optimistic, actually, as a local orthopedic center sets up shop in the mall, and the food court becomes home to smaller restaurants. News also paints a hopeful picture as the mall is highlighted as a family-friendly environment fit for all ages, going as far as to launch a program that would give teenagers a place to hang out. Events at the mall are still scheduled regularly, and new housing developments are expected to go up soon if they haven't already around the mall. Overall, despite its ups and downs, it seems that the future is still bright for the Oviedo Mall, and I wish the owners and its tenants the best going forward, even if that always falls on deaf ears. This is a huge mall. Sure, it's a single floor save for the food court and movie theater, but the main corridor just goes its own way, curving here and there. And the movie theater does overlook the food court, giving it a massive open feeling in the center court. It's different from the usual mall fare that we're used to here. And I like it. And it appears that it's here to stay after checking some of the recent news. It's almost like it's going for the community center vibe that some malls were originally intended to be. and this theater is loaded with neon. Admittedly, outside of the way they look, I don't really care all that much for movie theaters. It's not even their fault, really. Modern movies kinda suck nowadays, and I've grown disillusioned and apathetic about current media. But there might still be a few things for me here, between the gym, the bookstore, the toy shop, and apparently there's even a place here that does local D&D games, which are becoming more appealing because I can actually live out my deepest fantasies there, like owning a house or changing the world. But alas, it is time to go. Until next time, Orlando, this is Doomie Grunt wishing you and the Oviedo Mall farewell and good luck in the future.